Okay, I'll choose a crystal then. I noticed that my steps haven't gotten any heavier, so the weight I'm experiencing isn't physical weight or an increase in gravity, it's something else. She continued on in her impossible and torturous trek. Suddenly, she saw a flashing light right in front of her. She saw a bloody figure swaying unsteadily on their feet as they held onto a large outcrop of crystal. Green energy poured into his body. It looked like some mystical baptism of radiant green light before dimming. The boy yelled, "Elders, I have finished the trial. Please help me out of this field." No response. "Elders, I can't make it back out of the special zone, please." As Kimarya slowly walked past, the boy coughed up blood and his knees hit the floor. "Please," a voice spoke up at this moment. "It is forbidden for us to interfere in this process. Your fate lies within your hands. Please make every effort to return. You have only completed half of your final trial." He puked up blood right when he almost stood up. Kimarya could tell that if he didn't stand up again, he would not be able to make it back alive. It's still a question of him making it back even if he stood up. "Please, I already got the stupid crystal. Just help me out of here, please." No voices responded to him. Suddenly he felt an arm grab underneath his shud and he was awkwardly lifted to standing on his feet. It was Kimarya. "If I can help you walk and take you a few steps, do you think you can make it back?" The boy wiped off blood from his lips as his eyes spoke of how grateful he was. He caught his breath and let out a weak, "Yes." Sunny, 23% cell damage, Kimarya. She ignored Sunny and helped him a whole 3 meters till she felt a noticeable change of the pressure on her. "This should be good enough," gasped out Kimarya, as she was drenched in sweat and blood trickled down the side of her mouth. Sunny, 27% cell damage. The boy walked forward wheezing, spittle colored in blood painting the floor. "Thank you, senior sister." Kimarya, with an awful strained smile, walked forward once more. The trek was almost twice the effort it originally took. It didn't get any easier to return to the spot she was at. She stared straight ahead, looking at the cracked ground with crystals trying to escape from it. Each of the sparse outcrops of glowing green crystals. Some reached just the height of her thighs, others towering over her. She looked down at an outcrop near her feet. If she merely reached down, she could safely accomplish this challenge without risking her being stuck in a bed for months, crippled or even dying for overestimating herself. Sunny, 32% cell damage, Kimarya almost regretted helping that kid. She coughed out a mouthful of blood. She couldn't go on much longer. I need to pick a crystal, even if it wasn't at the 36% target she originally had. She looked at multiple crystals in her area. She saw more people. Her fists clenched. She wanted to pass as many of them as possible. The disdain and derision weren't something she could easily forget. Making it further than some of them was the best way possible to smack their faces through her accomplishments. She also felt she was partly responsible to the previous occupant of this body whose memories she inherited, and still was digesting with the help of Sunny. Sunny, 32% cell damage. She took 9 steps before she fell to one knee. Her eyes were blurry, but she still saw a few heads turn to her. They sat cross-legged, still accepting the legacies of these crystals. She imagined there were faces with more derision or shock at how far she's come. Sunny, 34% cell damage, Kimarya. She felt nothing of her body besides the jarring feeling similar to electricity sloshing back and forth in waves through her bones. If it wasn't for this, she likely wouldn't have been able to walk this far with how numb her flesh was. She only got closer to a small group of people before falling to one knee. She didn't pass anyone, but she knew she wouldn't be able to stand up and walk much further. The sound of a snort made its way into her ears. At first, she was shocked that she could hear anything besides the blood pumping inside her head, and her heart laboring. This made her mad. Pulling at all the strength she had in her body, she tried to stand. Her legs suddenly gave out and she completely fell to the ground. Humiliation. She felt indignant. I only wanted to at least get close to this group and at least show them that with no cultivation, she could do as much as them. She looked to her side, and there was a short and shiny green crystal within reach. Within reach was a way to end this challenge and her torture. She kept staring into the deep green crystal. Was it mocking her too? Her indignation only grew. She wasn't ready to give up. She couldn't accept this situation. Sunny, Kimarya, 34% cell damage.